Hey everyone, this is Rachel and welcome to another scrapbooking process video. If you hang out until after the video is through, there are always detailed shots of my current layout. Let's get going! Hey everyone, today I'm going to be working on a layout with one photo. It is a 5x7 of Miss Xanthe. I'm going to be working with the Webster's Pages My Happy Place line, which came out earlier this year. It's been one of their very few recent releases. They've gone more towards the planner side, so it was nice to see a new scrapbooking line release from them earlier in 2018. All right, I am going to go ahead, get you guys put on fast forward and start on this layout. All right, folks, let's get going. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the bag since I didn't bother to do that before. And I'm just kind of going through the papers I have. This was kind of more like a mini collection. I didn't buy every single paper, but I did buy quite a few. Really, more than anything, for the catacorns. Because for those of you who watched my video know that I'm pretty sure if catacorns were real, Xanthe would be one. So I had stepped away to get some wood veneer, and that's what Miss Xanthe did. So I had to wipe off my desk when I came back. So I have an idea, and I believe I've done this before. I don't know if I've done it on camera, where I take my Nuvo drops. I don't have a ton. I tend to use them more for card making because I'm obsessive about my enamel dots and giving them to people on cards who may not appreciate them the way I do hurts me. So I got some some Nuvo drops, and that's what I use instead. So this first one that I'm using is something pink, raspberry pink. Yeah, I showed you the pictures, but honestly, you can't really read the names, so I don't quite know why I did it. It's not exactly the right pink, but it's close enough. This one is dandelion yellow, I think. And I'm using that to cover the little bird. I think that actually came out of like a Disney wood veneer pack, like from Simple Stories. And I never used it in the Disney, so, but a bird works for a cat. The other one I have is an actual cat, and then the third one is a camera. There was something off with the pink Nuvo drops, and it went super wonky. The third one I'm using is called Navy Blue. Understand this, navy blue Nuvo drops are not navy blue. They are more of a shiny cadet blue. I know someone must know what the actual navy blue is. Someone told me once, but I do not remember. I do like the way the yellow and the blue turned out, but the pink is kind of cruddy. I still go ahead and use it, but I'm not like 100% super happy with it. So the paper from my happy life is called Sunshine. It is a sunburst pattern. I love using sunburst patterns because they're so easy to use. All you have to do is stick a photo down and you're done. So I'm just going through the rest of the photos, seeing what I can use, what I want to use. And what's really funny, this is one of those layouts where it does not go in the direction I thought it was going to go in any way, shape, or form. I start off by cutting out this piece from Enjoy the Day. And my first thought is to use that llama that is saying hi. That's the piece that caught my eye right off. And so that's what I'm cutting all of this paper back, paper apart for. In the end, I don't use that at all. So this paper I'm using with these little squares, you'll note I flipped it over first. I've learned to do that because when things are cut apart and stuff like that, I like to flip it over just to make sure I don't adore the other side, and that if I do adore the other side, I will be more speculative about what I'm cutting apart. So this particular paper is called Happy Squares, but in fact, I don't love that giant hot pink and white buffalo check plaid. And I like a good buffalo check. I just don't particularly care for large amounts of this color buffalo check. I am going to go ahead and use it to map my photo. I'm looking at what are on the squares, and I notice I actually like the pieces on either end. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off either end and then use the center part to map my photo. I actually considered gutting it to save those two in the center, but then I'm like, okay, all right, so here I'm showing you this. Believe in yourself and unicorn. Now I realize they did it for style, so it was all in one square, but unicorns. Believe in yourself and unicorns. And by the way, when you're using the word yourself, it's by itself. You don't say yourself. Ugh. All right, we're going to stop my little grammar rant and just continue on with the layout. So I'm cutting a very small mat on that because I said I love that color. It's a bit much with that hot pink and the white, just the color, not even just the color of the hot pink, but the color of the hot pink with the white. So right now, I'm looking at that high and I'm not loving it. I'm not, everything is just so squared off. I've got the angles of the sun, which while not squared are like long lines. And then I've got the big rectangular photo, and I'm just thinking, oh, I don't know if I really want to add more squares. So I go and I get my circle punches. And I was really inspired by the center part of that teal and white plaid piece that says enjoy the day. So I actually just fussy cut that out, and then I'm going to ink all of my circles up with pumice stone distress ink. So I get that down and I'm happy with the way that makes me much happier. So I have three different circle punches. I have a 1-inch one, and then I have a 1.5, and then a 2 or 2.25. I don't remember off the top of my head. So I'm just going to punch various elements from the paper out with the different size punches. So depending on the size of the element, it depends on the size of the punch. So I do that heart, I do that my happy place that also has little hearts around it. I, of course, have to do the Princess Kitty because obviously, they obviously switched the colors, but Xanthe was the model for that, of course. And then I'm also doing that little floral on the lime green, that heart with the buffalo check, which surprisingly enough, in that smaller size, I like far, far better. Better. Woo, words. And now I'm taking a look, seeing what else might work. I have this wood grain and white grid with a little heart in it, so I trim it out so you see the heart. And now I'm going to start to place things. I had accidentally cut through two and ruined the bicycle, which was fine because chances are I'm really never going to use the bicycle. So I'm just trying to see what's going to work. I'm going ahead and inking up all of my circles, so I skipped ahead for that. And I'm just trying to place things. The one that's going to be the hardest for me are the circles on the left-hand side of the photo. For some reason, I'm going to have a hard time figuring out what to do there. I'm doing another cluster down at the bottom left-hand side. That hot pink is kind of very eye-catching, so I want to make sure not to diminish it so much, but to make my photo be the thing you look at more than the lower left-hand side of my layout. So I'm seeing if anything else will work. I want something else, so I decide on this little floral, and I'm going to try to use that over on that left-hand side, just not quite sure yet where everything is going to go. Ink up the ones that I added afterwards, and now I'm going to start to glue things down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get the things glued down that are going to be attached to my photo block. Before I do that, I'm going to clean up a little bit because I've got a lot of little pieces of paper just kind of all over the place. So as I said, I'm going to glue the things that are going to stick to my photo, or I'm going to glue them to other circles that are also glued to my photo. So that way, if I want to move exactly where my photo block is, I can do that as the entire piece, as opposed to gluing things to the back and then being stuck with that's where your photo has to go. So I'm not sure where I want that heart to go. I'm not sure where I want the heart with the teal to go either. I'm not happy with the way things are going. So when I have that issue, what I do is I stop doing that and I move on to something else. So I take care of my upper right hand corner and then I try to go back to it and I'm still not, it's not working for me. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I start working on my lower left hand thing and then all of a sudden it pops in my head, oh, I need to put that heart over by the enjoy the day. And now I'm much happier with what things are looking like. And I'm going to use the floral piece next to that heart piece rather than, I'm sorry, I'm going to use the floral piece not next to the heart piece rather than how originally I was going to have it up by the heart piece. Okay, yes, those are actual sentences. Good. Now that I've got everything pretty much where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and get the photo block where I want it. And that's, I'm like, oh, there, that's a sweet spot. I got it. Sometimes, like, I just make myself laugh because I'm like, apparently that quarter of an inch totally made a difference. So that is how my main part of my layout is going to look. I'm going to go ahead and glue down those pieces in the lower left hand. I really like the way this layout turned out. It's very cute. Of course, it's very cute because it's got Xanthe on it. But I'm now moving on to the 12 by 12 sticker sheet. That little banner piece that says love is going to move a little bit just because of my title, but I'm also adding that floral piece because the background colors by the photo are very aqua and blue. I did want to bring a little bit of that aqua and blue down to the lower left hand because there is none down there. I'm also going to add that little label-y type sticker, just using it as a layer piece. And then I grab this little, there's like a little planner section of the stickers, and I grab one of the uh, little icon ones and add that over on the lower left hand as well. So I'm going to start working on my title, and the first thing I grab are these Studio Calico when they had that paper seven, whatever it's called line. Funnily enough, that when they had that, those were my favorite things they had ever put out from Studio Calico. I was very sad when they weren't going to do that anymore. Random thing about me. So I'm starting off with that, and I am going to stretch my title from the top of the photo down to the bottom of the photo. So I have the word requires going on, and so you'll see I moved that banner sticker. I am going to add it back almost in the same place. I'm just going to put it on partially on the photo just to make up for the fact that the title is there now. Then I'm going to use the stickers from the 12 by 12 sticker sheet as part of my title as well. And I'm just going to go back and forth between using that and using the gold puffy stickers from Studio Calico. So my entire title is She Requires the Fancy Box. For those of you who don't know, I put this box, it's actually an Erin Condren box, and it comes with hot pink tissue paper inside of it. One little quirky thing about my cat, she does not actually enjoy sitting in boxes unless there's tissue paper in them, which is, I understand, completely bizarre, but we've put boxes down, like we'll put Amazon Prime boxes down, and she will look at them and be like, no. But then Christmas rolls around and there are boxes on the ground that have tissue paper in them, and she's like, yes, finally you have understood. I require layers of tissue paper. So that is my entire title. She requires the fancy box. And then I took another one of those planner style stickers and trimmed it off a little bit and used a little heart icon as a period for my sentence. Because I don't know, I just thought I needed it. So now what I'm doing is I'm looking for a label sticker to do my journaling. While I'm doing that, I find this little bag of metal embellishments that came from, I bought one of those $5 bags that Freckled Fawn used to put out when they'd have, what are they called? Like their oops bags, like they weren't up to their quality. Every bag I bought that was an oops bag, I never saw anything wrong with any of them, but whatever. So this had a little metal doily, a little metal leaf, and a little metal feather. And I'm like, oh, these are perfect because the doily is round, the leaf is gold, and the feather, for a cat. So I just put one of those metal pieces in each one of my embellishment clusters, and it's just kind of like the perfect addition. Right now it's super paper heavy. It adds a little bit more dimension, and I'm having trouble with that S and also with the Y staying down because the S has the sticker underneath it and the Y keeps bumping into the end. So I just added a little liquid glue to both of those just to kind of keep them where I wanted them. So I'm just writing my sentence about, she requires tissue paper to be in her boxes if she's expected to sit in them. And I'm not joking. She will not sit in a box unless it has tissue paper in it. So, whenever we get boxes that have tissue paper in it, we're like, hey, look, it's a box for Xanthe. Here's where I go and get my enamel topped wood veneer, and I'm not happy with the way the pink one looks, but I am still going to use them. It's kind of one of those things where probably I'm the only one who's going to notice. So I place one of them by the title, one by that left-hand side, and then the pink one down at the bottom. And I'm not going to glue them down because they are not exactly completely dry. So I glued them down afterwards, but you won't see me glue them down here. I am going to finish off my layout with some Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine, and that is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys so much for joining me here. If you could flick me the thumbs up, that would be awesome. Also, please consider subscribing because I do put out videos twice a week. I've got some fun stuff coming up, some album shares, some packing videos. So click on subscribe and you'll be notified. All right, folks, have a great day. Bye.